Welcome back to the final episode of January. Where has this month gone? The 30th of January. Wow. If you understand and realise how fast this month has gone, maybe it's gone very slow for you, take into consideration what you had said you were going to do at the start of the year. Guys, welcome back to the final episode of January 2026. How are we at the 30th already? That just shows how fast time goes, and it literally waits unknown. Today's episode is all about why your mindset, personal development, the inner work is so important, and it's not just what you see on the outside, Anishelle, and it's something that I have really dug into in the last 2 years, and it's totally changed my life, my business, my perspective. I've matured so much, and the mindset work is something you hear a lot. It's like my mindset, and I'm unsure about how to get motivated or where to go, because the physical work is actually the easy part. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, whatever you agree with, in my opinion, it's the easy work. So today's episode is all going to be starting from the inside out. And like, again, when you look at the outside in, you wonder like, what does this person think like? Well, I do. When I look at someone that I really admire or I look up to, I'm like, what does this person think like? What do they operate like? How did they get there? Was it their mindset? Did they have different people that got them there? So this is all about inside out today, and I love personal development. I am a woman that will always be wanting to learn, grow, change, learn from my mistakes. So let's dive straight in. We've no cans today. We're going all fresh. We've got a long run tomorrow. So I got some new cups. We've got some fresh filtered water, and we're going nice and zen tonight because it's a little bit later in the evening here. So when you invest into yourself holistically, physically, whether it's with a transformation coach, whether it's with a mindset, a therapist, the transformation doesn't just happen on the outside of what people say. That's just a byproduct of everything that you've done with the mind to get you there, and the personal development work, okay? Whether it's confidence, whether it's just like in general how you show up every day. But the clarity, the energy, and the overall resilience shift is something that I'm really going to touch on, all right? So it's about realizing the work that you do on your mind and body that directly affects your life, your relationships, and your sense of self-worth. And when I say relationships, look at the people that you surround yourself with. Look at the energy that you let in every day. How does it make you feel? What are your choices as a byproduct of the people that you hang around with? And like, everyone doesn't have to be a go-getter and an entrepreneur and want more if that's like the game that you're in, and you're kind of in between two worlds where you're going to jump from one to the other, and these people don't understand and they think you're crazy, and all of these opinions come into it. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is like, it's not good being the best person in the group all the time. And you might think that that's what people feel like, but it's genuinely not. In my opinion, I like to feel like the small fish, hence why I'm here in America, how it's so different. It puts me into a baby category. Like, I love that because it makes me want more. It makes me feel like, holy shit, I didn't even think that was possible, especially when we come from that small town mentality. So change always starts from the inside, and that's where, unfortunately, your mom, your dad, the work that you've done, the partner that you're attracting, and it shows up everywhere in your life. It will show up in your money. It will show up in how you take care of yourself. But in this episode in particular today, it's going to be about unpacking why investing into your mindset, your habits, your physical health is more than just self-improvement. It's self-reclamation. So from boosting confidence to breaking limiting beliefs, building strength and reclaiming your energy, none of us want to feel like shit every day. None of us want to feel like, oh my God, I can't get out of the bed, or like, here, it's different for you because you're over there, girls. It's not. When I was, or if there's a man listening, whoever is listening right now, like, when I was at home, my same routine would go. It would be cold. I would have my house coat on. I'd be up in the morning. My routine stays the same. I'd be up with my journal, taking my subs, getting myself out for my walk, going to the gym. It doesn't matter where my environment is. I just know I always want to become that 1% better. So when we're talking about how every little step can make that big transformation, people don't really see that. And I see that a lot every single day because I work with women that want to transform their body. But again, I can't help them transform their body if their mind doesn't even see it, can't even make the right choices with food, and they don't trust it. And then even in the mentorship with women in business, I'm also helping women break limiting beliefs and live life on your own terms. So when something feels really aligned, you feel empowered, you feel energetic, and you feel unstoppable because you're like, this feels so good. Have you ever realized and wondered, why is it life flashing? Have you ever realized and wondered how weird it feels? Can anyone else see that? Now it's stopping. Very strange. If you're watching this on YouTube, please stop doing that. I'm home alone. Don't like that. But sorry, bring it back to when things feel aligned and when things feel misaligned. When I go away, say for example, on a holiday, or when I'm out of my normal routine, I get a little bit stressed. And I don't get stressed as in like, oh my God, in my head internally, and just like how I feel, if that makes sense. It's a feeling that I'm just like, like I just don't feel good. I don't feel like myself. I feel very discombobulated. I can't make choices. I'm missing beats. I'm not able to do the things like when you run a successful business, or even in general, if you've got a family and you've got other people to look after, if you're not in the right alignment, if you're not in the right energy, you will miss beats. You'll forget things. You'll be missing things. People will complain. You know, like you really, really have to look at your choices and like realize if you are in entrepreneurship right now, guys, or even if you are thinking about getting into your own business, like it comes with a lot of maturity that you have to get. Like you have to build it obviously along the way, but like it makes you grow up overnight, and you can't kind of play around the way you did because like you've got serious responsibility. So if anyone is looking at like leveling up, wanting to build a business scale, you can't mess around like that. Like especially if you wanted to be successful. If you wanted to be like a little side hustle, cool, that's all right. But I know for me, I don't want that, which means Friday night, I'm not out, I'm not doing anything. Why would you not? Like I'm in here recording. I'm also working on a very new exciting project too. I will explain that in a whole different YouTube. But you girls, if you're looking at Pixie Legacy, you might want to follow there because you will love this. But anyways, when we come back to today's episode and we look at boosting your confidence, to break these limiting beliefs, to rewire the brain, to build strength physically, mentally, spiritually, we're talking about these tiny little steps, okay? That true transformation that you see when you look at someone and you're like, how are they making that money? Like, how is their body like that? God, I wish I could do all those things. It doesn't start with what's visible. Right? It doesn't start with that. It starts on the inside. These people are operating very, very different. It's a higher frequency. It's a higher energy. So are you in doomsday every day? Do you always have something to complain about? What's your mindset like? Have you got any gratitude? Do you write things down? Are you scattered all the time? Is your food all over the place? I'm telling you right now, if you're scaling yourself anywhere below 6 on any of those things, you know there's probably something that's not really aligned with you right now. And that's something that you should be like, yes, okay, doesn't feel good, but it's like, this is exciting, and flip the mindset again. I get to work on these things. I get to transform my life. This is where my mindset, my habits, my physical health, they're all deeply connected. It's all on the outside, and then but it happens from the inside, okay? One without the other will always leave a gap. That's why when you see someone that has a lot of money and they're really unhappy, they just don't feel good, and people will say, I hit these numbers and I never felt good. I have always been so self-aware along the journey that I'm like, when I deserve that, I'm like, I'm gonna reward myself with that because I work so hard for it. Or when I look at like me as a person and the things that I can do right now, I always bring myself back down to myself, and I'm like, you know what, remember where you came from. But like, I don't have to keep looking over my shoulder anymore and thinking, oh, like that's where I came from, and like because I've got to a certain level, okay? But when you look at the work that I've done, it's come from the inside, because I wouldn't have been able to do any of those things, or let's say break societal norm of the way as an Irish woman or in general would have lived. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying that's something I wouldn't have been able to even think about if I didn't step outside that comfort zone and like rewire myself as well, because it's all we know. So this episode is all about seeing personal growth as a full circle body experience between your mind, your body, your spirit. So right now, when we look at like me as a person and the things that I can do right now, I always bring myself back down to myself, and I'm like, you know what, remember where you came from. Like I don't have to keep looking over my shoulder anymore and thinking, oh, like that's where I came from. And like I just don't have to keep looking over my shoulder anymore and thinking, oh, like that's where I came from. Like I always bring myself back down to myself, and I'm like, you know what, remember where you came from. Like that's something that I wouldn't have been able to even think about if I didn't step outside that comfort zone and like rewire myself as well, because it's all we know. So this episode is all about seeing personal growth as a full circle body experience between your mind, your body, your spirit. So what in your life, and I love a pen to paper, so what in your life feels aligned and what in your life right now doesn't feel aligned. And that can be people, food, your choices, how you speak to yourself, like what feels really good, but what also feels stuck, anxious, or what makes you feel a bit frustrated. Because again, like I don't live in La La Land, and people think I do, but like I don't. I live in my own world where I created this. But like when I look at the outside, I always bring myself back. If I start looking at different people or even girls in general, I'm like, no, this is an inside thing. Why is that coming up for me? And again, it's just self-awareness. It's what will change everything for you. You're not pinpointing things in yourself. You're just being very, very self-aware. So whether you are really low energy right now, you've got poor sleep, your habits aren't great, your food is off, and you feel anxious, like listen to it. If this doesn't feel like you or your body, or you feel really guilt and shame, it's coming from a deeper wound. It's not just coming from the choices that you've made, it's coming from why you made those choices and where it has all stemmed from. So achievements feel hollow because internal alignment hasn't caught up. Okay? Achievements feel hollow, they feel empty, they feel, like I kind of hit it and it didn't really feel like anything, because your inside work isn't even there. It hasn't caught up, okay? Again, back to the very successful man that makes all this money, and then at the end he's like, it just didn't make me feel good. Why is that, okay? There's so many different things that we can kind of look at here. But I want this to be about you. I don't want you to think about anyone else. I want this to be directly towards your life right now. Okay, mindset, the fancy word that we all talk about and we love, and it's all about your mindset. Yeah, of course it is. But your thoughts, your beliefs, they influence your decisions, your habits, and your energies. So where you are right now in your life is all because of you. Do not point your finger at anyone else. It is all your choice, okay? So limiting beliefs can sabotage progress before it even begins. I wouldn't be able to do that. People like us don't do that, and like my family would go mad, and I just feel like that I shouldn't be doing things like that. And I was always told that you have to go to college and do. Said who, okay? It's your mom, your dad, but if they're not living a life that you desire or want, or the people around you, why are you listening to them? And I know that's so harsh to say, but like, if I was to listen to people, of course I listen, and I hear my mum out, I ask her for opinions here and there, and I always go to her for advice, absolutely. But like, if I was to listen and play things safe and be scared and don't do that now, and like you have to be careful with things, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So for example, moving from this whole I can't do it, it's not for me, I'm not enough, people like us don't do things like that, to I figure it out, I deserve this, I'm worthy of this. And I had to drill all of those things into my head. But you know what was happening? It wasn't even sinking in, because it's not a mind thing. It's like your heart has to feel it. And like my vision became so clear when my circle got smaller, when I started to like break down all the noise that was going on and just shut it all out. And it really, really did put me into a place of isolation. But I came out the other side because I was just left alone with me, myself, my thoughts. But the most important thing that I could never listen to, because I was scared, was my heart. And I was scared of making other people upset. I didn't want to come across as like, oh, you shouldn't be posting things like that if you're in the dance world. Like, that was a big deal. I was like, I'm not going to come across as that, and you have to have like, be careful because like kids are following you and this and that. But like, I was never doing anything wrong, but I was so worried about what other people would say that I held myself back. So if that's you right now, stop holding yourself back because of what your peers or people in your job or in your college or anyone will say. Who gives a fuck? I'm sorry for the language, but we are not here in 100 years. No one knows us. Like, we're gone off the face of the earth, and you still complain about getting up on a morning. You're still complaining about you're tired and your sleep and blah, 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 having no money. You spend your money going out and getting your nails, your hair, your makeup, going for food, takeaways, but don't complain when your body and your mind, the most important things that keep you functioning on a daily basis and make the choices which will possibly wake you up the next day, aren't top priority. Mind blown. Mind blown. Honestly, it makes me go, please, I want to shake you right now. I make these podcasts for a reason. I am going to go back to not having a brief anymore, because I just feel like sometimes when I get flown, I feel like I go at it. But like for some of the episodes, I really go into detail. I sit down and I plan, and I'm like, what in someone else's mind for me when I was at that stage would have helped. And that's why I try and do it. So like, I love when you girls share the podcast. I love when I can see changes. Anyone that works with me, hand on heart, any of you girls, I dare to debate with me, try it. Because anyone that has ever walked through my doors, anyone that has ever been around my energy, whether you've worked with me or not, if you've only met me and you've met me for 20 minutes, you will say after meeting me, like, honestly, like, I feel so good. I feel so inspired. I want to do more. Thank you. And that's the type of person that I am. People want to be around me because my energy is contagious. And I used to feel like that with other people. I'm like, oh my God. And then I started being like the best person, not the best person, but like I kind of had done the things that a lot of people were always asking me questions about. I'm talking about career-wise. I'm not talking about anything else here. And then I was like, I need to get outside my comfort zone more. Dubai, traveling alone, learning more about myself, going to events by myself, self-discovery, inner work, childhood wounds. Like I went through all of that work by myself, and it's stuff that I kind of still don't really talk about. I will down the line, but when it comes to mindset and physical work, and these are combined together, these results and working on the inner and the outer, which will be a byproduct of one another, discipline will massively improve, right? Every single area. You will have better decision making. You won't be fatigued. You'll have more focus. You will earn more money. You'll fuel yourself better because the food and drink and stuff that you're putting into your body, it's good. You'll have stronger, healthier boundaries with people. You'll level your standard of living up. You'll level your standard in general up as well. And transformation becomes visible and tangible inside and out. Right? Don't forget it, inside and out. So how to begin your own transformation, and how I want this episode to really, really help you. Start small right now. Really small. Whether you're driving along, whether you've got that pen and paper out, go into your phone and your notes right now while you're listening to me. Take action, don't just listen to me. And pick one small mindset shift or physical habit, or if you want to do both, a physical and a mindset, and commit to it. Now, there's going to be days when creep comes in, or doubt comes in. There's going to be days when you feel really tired and you don't want to do it. And like, what's the big deal if I miss one day? You're letting yourself down. Consistency over intensity any day. Everyone thinks it has to be this huge thing. It doesn't. It starts with here, on the inside. The rest will blossom and transform on the outside. So small wins always build momentum. It's those small little stones that you jump across that bring you to that big huge bridge that you can just like jump over, and then you go into more small stones. There's going to be roadblocks along the way, so reflecting regularly, addressing your emotions. Emotions are energy in motion, so any energy that needs to move through your body, it's a good thing if you're feeling emotional. Again, it's a mindset flip. It's just like perspective, and notice how your body changes and how it can affect your thoughts, your food choices, whether you're going to do it or not, getting tasks done, time management. But surround yourself with those two things for the next 2 weeks, and I can guarantee it will make a big difference. And the accountability, the inspiration, how much energy you'll have, your sex drive will go up. You will have a community around you as well that you'll start being like, oh my God, I didn't know that this was how I was meant to feel. All right. And again, this is why it's so important. It's all great and going to the gym and going to Pilates and going to yoga and blah, blah, blah. But when you're still feeling like shit and the noise is so loud in your head and you can't even fall asleep because there's just chaos going on, you really need to ask yourself that the life that you want isn't outside of you. It's not. And it took me so long to actually figure that out, but it's not outside you. It never has been. And I always wondered why I love being alone. Like for so long, I was always like, why do I love my own company so much? I just love myself so much that like anything else is just like a bonus. That's why I'm not attached to anything. And I used to be attached to people. I used to want to be always like, if I was with a partner, like now I'm just like so at peace that I'm just like, wow, like I don't need it, but like I want it. All right. And there's a big difference. It's like, it's cool if it doesn't go, and the minute you release, what happens? It will come back, or it will come to you. But the life that you want, as I said, it isn't what's out there. It's what's built by the habits, the beliefs, the energy that you cultivate on the insides. On the insides. Even this podcast right now, when I wrote this, it didn't sink. I was typing it didn't sink. It didn't really clock for me. But when I'm speaking it, when I'm hearing myself back, I'm like, yes, it gives me goosebumps. I'm like, ooh, working on yourself, by the way, is also not selfish. It's not, it's necessary. Okay, selfish people, we're not selfish. We have a standard, a boundary, whatever you want to call it, and a way that we live, and it's a higher frequency. And if you don't want to, not match it, but like if you're not on that vibe, bye. You know what I mean? But ask yourself right now, where can I invest in myself today? And be okay with losing people as well along the way. Not everyone's going to be happy that you're doing this great work, because again, it will reflect back into them what they're not doing. And it's like, ooh, I don't really like this. All right. So where can you invest in your mind? We're everywhere online, by the way. You can go to podcasts, you can go to YouTube, you can take some breath work, you could do yoga. Where in your body can you do it? Can you move more? Can you fuel yourself more? Can you eat better foods? Can you hydrate? What about going for a walk? How about writing pen to paper down for your mind? And how are you going to try and change that tomorrow? Let it sit with you. Like, let yourself feel it. Don't just watch the episode and then go, next one, next week. It's like in one ear, out the other. You're not even registering it. So if this episode has hit you, please let this remind you that change starts on the insides. And have you ever heard people saying, Kira, like, you're just such a beautiful soul, or someone saying to you in general, you've got great energy and it's just really nice to be around you? That's when the change has started on the inside. That's when you're blossoming from inside out, and then the rest of it is just like a byproduct of it. Okay, but it shows up everywhere. Change shows up everywhere when you work on the inside. It shows up in your finances, your relationships, your friendships, what you'll tolerate, what you won't. And again, a lot of people don't want to go down this road because it's kind of scary. All right, because again, you know, you're changing and it's like, ooh, but like, would you rather change and lose some people along the way and meet even more amazing people on the other side of the rainbow? Yeah, that's where I'm going. And if you're on this podcast right now, you're coming with me. But I just want to say thank you always for listening, and just know that like you don't need to wait for the perfect moment, even in comparison to last week's podcast and leading into today. You don't need to wait to have the perfect body or a certain weight or to get into that dress size or a mindset. Just start where you are right now. No one's better than the other. They just have literally reprogram themselves, and that's how they're able to get themselves that one step ahead, and you can do the same. So even with one small shift, like what I was talking about with your mind, with your body, that can also ripple effect into a total life transformation. And it's scary, but maybe share this episode with someone maybe that you love, or someone even that is ready, that you feel, even for yourself, if it helped, that's ready to start their journey from the inside out, because Feb is all about femme-feb. There's going to be so much self-love podcasts in there, a lot of like love stuff, and I know you girls are going to love it, a lot of self-work. So take a moment to actually reflect and own the first step of actually starting, which has been getting on for the podcast and listening, or if you're watching on YouTube. But I just want to say thank you for all the support in January. It really doesn't go amiss when you take a screenshot and you tag me and you share it on Instagram. So I just want to say a massive thank you from me. I am super, super excited to bring you along the journey. What an amazing January already. And yeah, have a gorgeous weekend, and I will see you on next week's episode of It's a Man's World. Bye.